it's just a sourdough day for me. I have my jar of discard here, which I want to use some up. So I'm going to try something that I haven't tried yet before. I am fairly new to sourdough. I just started the beginning of this year. But I've seen several recipes for sourdough granola. So that is what I am going to try today because I've got some yogurt and I just love granola sprinkled on top of yogurt. It's just the best. And we got some fresh blueberries to go with it. So that is what we are going to try today. It is a pretty simple looking recipe. So I'm supposed to start by mixing my wet ingredients in a small bowl, followed by my dry ingredients in a bigger bowl. So I need to mix, I'm gonna actually double the recipe. The sourdough discard, melted coconut oil, pure maple syrup, which I'm actually going to substitute our raw honey for maple syrup in this recipe, brown sugar, and vanilla. So those are the wet ingredients, and I'm gonna go ahead and get those mixed in my bowl now. That is it for all of our wet ingredients. So now I need to get this all mixed together and incorporated. As I'm in a transition period in my life and a lot of things just feel very topsy-turvy right now as I try to figure out what my next steps in life are. I honestly find that making sourdough and trying new things like this, it brings me peace. And there are tons of other things I could be doing. Absolutely. I know there's stuff that needs to be done in the garden and everything. It did rain today, which is why I'm not out there because everything's still really wet and I don't want to get all muddy. But I really feel that the Lord is also allowing me time and wants me to take time to actually do some things that I enjoy instead of just always working on stuff and what's the next project that needs to be tackled or done, because there's always something. All right, so now I need to mix my dry ingredients, and I am going to be making some substitutions in this as well. So let's see, I need a teaspoon of cinnamon. I need a half a teaspoon of nutmeg. Come on, here we go. I need a half a teaspoon of salt. I love this little salt container. Got two different kinds of salt in here. This is kosher salt and this is sea salt, Celtic sea salt. Okay, then I need a cup of rolled oats. So in this case, because I'm doubling the recipe, I am going to be using 2 cups. And it says a half a cup of crisp rice cereal. I don't have crisp rice cereal. I do have some Ezekiel 4-9 cereal. So this is very similar to granola in a lot of ways. So I am just going to use this. So I am going to make a cup of this. Wow, look at that. I had exactly a cup left. That worked out good. And then half a cup chopped raw nuts. I went with pecans. I have a very fancy method of chopping my nuts. These are raw, whole, and then I just take a rolling pin, put them in a plastic bag, and I crush them. So there are our nuts. And it says to add sunflower seeds or seeds of choice. I don't have sunflower seeds or other types of seeds that I want to add, so I'm actually going to do something much smaller, which is chia seeds. So I am going to go ahead and add 2 tablespoons of chia seeds to this, which I know are very healthy for you. So why not? I don't know if this is going to come out. We're going to find out together. My mom was one who taught me that you don't always have to follow a recipe exactly. You can go ahead and substitute things. So now I am going to go ahead and mix together these dry ingredients in here, making sure that I get the spices, the cinnamon and nutmeg mixed in there. pretty well. All right, so now I'm going to mix the wet ingredients with the dry ingredients. Give it a really good mixing. Make sure everything is coated really well. Just about all incorporated in there. So that's what we're looking at. So next step is going to be to spread this out on the parchment paper on the cookie sheets, and then we're going to be popping that into the oven at 350 for I think it's 20 minutes. And then you rotate your cookie sheets 180 degrees and give it another 20 minutes to make sure everything's good and crisped up, just the way we all like our granola, nice and crunchy. So I'm debating, I think I may pour some of this onto one of the cookie sheets here, and I'm thinking about taking the other half of it and adding some dried cherries to it. Why not, right? Be creative. I think I will do that just for the fun of it, and we'll see what we come up with. So I think that's pretty good, what we're looking at there. Like I said, don't think you want to spread it too thick. So there we have the one with the dried cherries in it. So we're going to go ahead and get these into the oven. Side note here, that granola in the oven smells really heavenly. Can't wait to take it out. So I went ahead and took my granola out of the oven. It didn't finish like the full second 20-minute cycle because I think it's getting a little bit browner than it necessarily needs to be. It's not burnt, but it is definitely on the darker golden side of things. So now I just need to let this cool, and once it's fully cooled, then I can break it apart and put it in an airtight container. So the granola has cooled for a bit now. It's not fully cool, so I can't put it in airtight containers yet, but I'm anxious to try this. So I'm first going to try the granola that has the dried cherries in it. It does smell good, that's for sure. It's nice and crunchy. The dried cherries aren't like overly crispy or tough. They're still quite juicy. It's not quite as sweet as I expected. And maybe that's because I'm so used to like store-bought granola where it's just tastes a lot sweeter. Very natural. It tastes actually very good. I think for my personal taste, I can't really taste the cinnamon very much, and I love cinnamon, so I think I would probably add more cinnamon to this next time around. Maybe make a few little adjustments there. The chia seeds incorporated nicely because of the sourdough, so there are a few seeds not mixed in that are just running loose on the tray, but for the most part, the chia seeds are well incorporated in there. All right, so I'm going to taste a little bit that does not have the cherries in it. Good. Like I said, it's not as sweet as I'm used to, but I'm okay with that. It still is very tasty, and the pecans are just right. So overall, I'm very satisfied with this recipe. I'll probably make some tweaks to it to make it to suit my preferences a little bit better, but I would make it again, just as it is even. So let this be an encouragement to you. If you haven't tried it before, it's really not that hard. So why not? Go ahead and try it. Make your own granola. I am sure it is probably much better for you than a lot of the stuff that you can find in the store.